Welcome to Onshaw.net video on Scratch, where we're going to show you how to use the cloning tool to provide a little message. It uses lots of costumes, it uses the cloning tool and some arrays. The program basically outputs Happy New Year to people who are reading it. It has two sprites, one for all the letters and then one that actually just does very little other than shows a cat flying. I've left the stage blank. The one that's basically the one that we're going to work with is the letters, and I've made 8 different costumes for all the letters of Happy New Year. There's 12 letters in Happy New Year, but only 8 of them in total are unique. What we do is when we start the program, we set up an array with for each of the 12 letters. So starting off, we hide all the letters, we delete all the letters, and then basically we pick whichever part of the array we need. So position 1 is the H, position 2 is A, P is number 3, P again because we repeat the letter P, number 4 is Y, and so on all the way to the various 8 letters there, 8 there being the letter R at the very end. And we set a variable N to 1, which is our placeholder. So that's one thing we do when we click on the flag. Also, when we click on the flag, we have to make sure that we start by putting up our letter H before we start cloning. Now, what we've done is a load of code which isn't really needed. It just kind of flicks through all the various letters randomly before settling on the letter H. The important bit is we create a clone of myself, and this is where all this code happens, and there's quite a bit of it. Now, it looks fairly intimidating because there's a lot of it, but again, some of it is just a little bells and whistles. Before we do anything, we change n by 1. This means that we're no longer on H, this array here, at 1 to letters. We're on to position 2. So what we're going to do then is if n is greater than 1, when it's now 2 and it's less than 6, then we can move our position by 50, which moves it on, and again we flick through the letters and we finally settle on item 2 of letters, which is the letter A. And you do that until you get to the letter Y, which is position 5. When we get to position 6, we need to move down a new line, and we put down the letter N, we clone again to do E and W, and then we move on to the next line. So I mean, we're just repeating the same instruction over and over again. You can have a look at the Scratch project just to see it by itself. And at the very end, we stop the script and we show the picture of the cat. Simple as that. So we've lots of videos on Scratch on our Onshaw.net channel, and I hope you enjoyed this video.